We do have a quorum. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yes. I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. Tonight's bills add up to $711,725.53.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilman Collier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Vins,
Yes.
Councilman Cook,
Yes.
Councilman Tenen.
Yes. Consent agenda passes. Remarks of visitors.
None.
We have none. Bids. Public Works for salt.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of City Council. Before you, you have a request from Mr. Sorry, hold on, Mr. Dollar for the purchase of almost $12,000 worth of salt. You all might recall that last year when we bought salt, we paid $62 a ton. Right now, the low bid, as you can see from the paperwork I included in your packet, it's $88, almost $89 a ton. So our idea with, holding back, the gas prices didn't help us a whole lot, which I believe is the main reason why the salt is higher. This will not fill us up. This is just spending the rest of the money that we have in the budget. It'd take about 3 times that amount to fill us up. So if it's your guys' pleasure, it probably wouldn't be Stephanie's pleasure, but if it's your guys' pleasure to spend triple the amount, we could do so and fill the reserve, the salt reserve, but it would be at a very high price. So I would recommend we not do that. Let's play the commodities market a little bit and see if things cool down closer to winter. As Mr. Cook mentioned earlier, we are working with Peevely and a couple other municipalities to see if we can't put a bid cooperative together, working with our neighbors to see if we can get kind of a bulk discount. I don't know the results of that bid inquiry yet, but Mr. Hickson at the city of Peevely is handling that on our behalf, and I'll bring back an update about that here shortly.
You looked into winter weather forecast? I heard it today, they said St. Louis area is supposed to go on.
Yes, the National Oceanic Atmosphere released their data. Yeah, we're due for a super heavy winter. That's why I'm not real comfortable waiting until winter. I'd be curious to see what the co-op, if we can do something with that, see what that would do.
Okay. We'll do it. As soon as I get the information, I'll let you guys know.
Is there any other discussion? Yes, Stephanie.
So, I mean, if they could bring this back at the first meeting in October, they could spend the 12,000 now, and if they have that cooperative agreement, then they could have that, so you still have some time to get it before, hopefully the winter weather would start. Just a suggestion. The new budget year, they have 12,000 left now, and that's why they're asking for 12,000. So if they would bring it back first meeting in October, they could bring you a plan or to try to get it before the snow, possible stuff.
Are you just checking with the cities and no one else?
Well, I think the idea was that if we can get a better deal, we want to try to do that. And so that's
Well, I
what we're trying to do,
understand
do a
that.
bid cooperative.
But are you checking with any like MoDOT or any of the county or anybody like that, or just the city?
The city of Chesterfield does a bid cooperative that when I worked for the city of Arnold, we participated in. And so there's that opportunity as well. So I could reach out to the city of Chesterfield and see if we could join, if it was too late in the season for us to join their bid cooperative. But that's the only 2 that I know locally that are done. So if neither one of those work, we'll go it alone like we normally do. And, we'll get the best price we can.
Oh, I understand that. I just was kind of curious if there's other sources out there that we could piggyback with or something.
Yeah, those are the only 2 I know of.
Is there any other discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion to buy salt for $11,992.60.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilman Tinnon,
Yes.
Councilman Cook,
Yes.
Councilman Vins,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilman Collier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton.
Yes.
Motion passes. Go ahead and buy your salt.
Thank you, sir.
Next up for bids is the security upgrades.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Members of City Council, before you tonight, we're requesting the approval to spend $156,000 and a little bit of change for some security upgrades. We've been working with our IT staff for what seems like the better part of a year to try to come up with a solution for our permissions controls and for our video security for now 3 buildings. That'd be police and city hall, public works, and also the fire department. Without going into a bunch of details, I don't want to necessarily broadcast our plans, but we're replacing an existing permissions control system that's outdated. It's being run on a computer that no longer is supported by Microsoft. So it's on a operating system that we can't get updates for anymore. It has long outlived its useful life and needs to be replaced. Some of the cameras are also in that same basket. They've also been used, their useful life, and need to be replaced with a new high definition, those see in the dark style. A number of the cameras, however, will be repurposed that we were just bought last year. So I want you guys to know that those funds we spent last year are not going to go to waste. So again, this is a complete tip to tail replacement of our permissions control, and then some new cameras here at City Hall and in PD, and then all new cameras elsewhere. If you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Matt, quick question. I forgot to email Greg and ask him this when we talked about it. Does this have future growth where we can include the library at some point in their building? Because we had that rental space over there as well.
You know, that's a good question. This system is scalable, so we can add more to it. Yes, sir. The issue being is that, you know, that this is also going to be monitored at dispatch. There's only so many screens those folks can be looking at one time. So yeah, we may have to be a little choosy with what they see and what's being monitored, but yeah, we could absolutely do that.
Is there any other questions?
Just a minor question. I noticed like that there's Windows 10 still running, that this system is still going to be running underneath, you know, when you're supposed to upgrade to Windows 11 right now. So I haven't done it because I'm not ready to do Windows 11, but will this all be upgradable also just as?
It's my understanding that it does have the ability to be, I guess, to grow and to be retrofitted in the future. That was one of the requirements. We did not want to be in a system that locked us into a technology that was going to be outdated in 24 months. So I think the operating system is just that. It's going to continue to be supported as Windows changes, unlike our current permission control system.
And we'll be able to get upgrades, I would assume, at no charge for a certain amount of time from this company.
I don't think there's an annual. Stephanie, do you recall there being any kind of annual fee for access? I don't believe there is. So I think it's, yes, sir. I believe those things are included for a certain, you know, lifespan of the product.
Okay, thank you.
And this will be the ARPA funding in the next.
Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you.
Is there any other discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve $156,049 to /technology for the upgrade of our security system.
So moved.
So move.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilman Collier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton,
Yes.
Councilman Tenen,
Yes.
Councilman Cook,
Yes.
Councilman Benz.
Yes.
Motion passes. In our security system.
Thank you, sir.
And one more, we have backup power generators. Staff report.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, again, as Stephanie mentioned just moments ago, this project is also being paid for through our ARPA funding. I do want to draw your attention to the third page I included. That does show what the balance is remaining in those funds. So if you are curious, what we have left is just under $950,000 will remain after both of these projects. But to the task at hand, and that is the backup power generator. So this building has partial backup power in the case of an emergency. So if we lose power at this facility, there are certain outlets and there are certain rooms in this facility that do have backup power. However, recently we've discovered that probably is not enough when this is serving as our emergency command center. You all know we have that facility in the basement. And of course, we have police dispatch and other emergency services that are going to be housed here. It's just not appropriate in this day and age to not have 100% backup power at the city hall and police station. So this project contemplates whole house backup power generation so that the entire structure would have backup power without exception for police and city hall, the public works building front and back. So we'd be able to dispense gasoline and have a heated and cooled building there for our staff. And then also the booster station on Pounds Road. So those three items went out to bid. We asked our local bidders, the two that came to the bid opening, to please present to us what they believe was the best solution and the most affordable solution. And that came to, I guess, the low price bidder of Alberta Electric at $360,435. And those are for Kohler units bought from, we sourced from our local supplier here in Festus. If you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Matt, is that comparing apples to apples when you're looking at I just had it here, what was it? Oh, 360 compared to 435.
It is apples and apples. Each contractor, each electrician sized slightly different units for the different buildings. I'm comfortable with this bid because I spent a great deal of time. Both bidders had opportunity to engage me as they will. I gave them my cell phone number and my email address, and they were encouraged to contact me with questions. And Berta did. I believe I fielded at least a dozen emails from them. They got copies of electric bills from the last 2 years, highest usage months. Of course, all of the bidders toured the facilities, but they really went above and beyond. And in fact, I think the gentlemen are here in the audience tonight. So we've got both contractors, right?
Yeah, I'm Tim Berta with Berta Electric, and I got Rick Dodge with me. He's our supplier for the generators, CK Power.
So if you guys want to, ask these guys any technical questions, they're here in the audience to answer those for us. But yeah, I'm very comfortable with it, Councilman Tenen. I think that the units that they spec will satisfy our demand and our needs at all three locations without problem. Again, asking Greg and I to, write a specification for something technical like this is really beyond our expertise. You need an electrical engineer or somebody like that. Those guys have the experts on staff. They've told us what we need in order to satisfy the electrical demand in our buildings. And that's what's in front of you tonight.
Matt, quick question. This is ARPA funds again, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then Captain Wendell, correct me if I'm wrong, but if something happened to our dispatch, Jefferson County 911 is our backup, correct? We flip a switch and our So Peevely has a PSEP that we use.
Yeah, our backup is if we have any issues. Yeah, if we have any issues, but they are our backup 911 center, all of our 911 calls go there. They use the same system that we do. We could actually have a dispatcher go up there and dispatch. Once they get their new radios, they can dispatch off a walkie currently from that location, but they are our backup. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Matt.
Sir.
Matt,
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, from looking at the estimate. In addition to just the technical piece of it, the installation, what are the additional, because it does list, we don't do this, we don't do that. What's the additional budgetary impact of any additional things that need to be done?
That's a good question. And Jim asked me before the meeting. There is a line item in here you guys probably found that says the concrete work is excluded. And I told the gentleman when they were there bidding that we would take care of any concrete work that needed to be done. So if there's a pad that's got to be poured, as long as we know where to put the conduits or the holes, the sleeves for the conduits and things like that, we've got really good concrete flat workers on our crews. We don't need to have anybody else come in and do that for us. That's something we can handle in-house pretty easily. So that's an extra. I don't think there's anything else other than the removal of the old units. That was in the bid that they have to, haul the old units away. Those are their property. And I would presume they put a economic factor in there for that, an offset.
So the old units matter like trade-ins,
Yes, sir.
because it'd be nice to have a generator backup at our maintenance shed over there on Ridge. Or do we have a generator there?
We do not, no, sir. And that's a good point. I'll have to put that in a future budget.
Yeah.
But this old unit that's here at City Hall, it's reached its useful life. It really has.
Just one quick thing. I noticed in there that there was like a surge protection. If you're interested in that, check here and so on. Is that included in this bid? If not, what
I don't believe it is. Mr. Berta, do you mind?
We have the option to install surge protection, but it's not included in on the bid. Is the transfer switch have surge protection? No, it doesn't. Okay. We can get it. Oh, yeah, we could look at part of the surge protection within the transfer switches. But they currently are not.
So it's something that I have no clue about as far as what cost or what need, if there's a necessity for it or not. But because I saw it in there, it's something that should be asked.
Yeah, where we have a lot of expensive equipment at the water plant, at the sewer plant, when we have electrical surges, it can be, pretty costly. Here, obviously, we do have some computers and some other things like that, but we do have surge protection at most of the appliances. So I would think that we would be, decently covered. These TVs probably don't have surge protectors behind them, but all of our computers do. I'm sure your guys's consoles and dispatch are surge protected. That would be the next most expensive thing probably as a whole. So I would say, we can get the price and we can talk to you guys about it later as a change order, but I'm satisfied with the way that it was quoted.
Hey, Brian, question for you, the city attorney. If the council decided to add surge protection as coverage, would that alter the bid process at all? Could we classify it as a change request? Because I think you brought up a good point. I'll be honest.
I think it probably would. I mean, it could be a material different spec. I mean, it kind of depends on the individual project, but if it's the kind of thing that could alter what the bids were received, have been submitted, then yes, it could be a material different.
I've got a real quick question and hopefully I'm reading this right. So your bid is for a gas unit?
Excuse me?
Your bid is for a gasoline unit? Units?
The gas one is here.
Natural.
Actually, it's dual-
Natural
dual-
gas.
Okay,
It's dual feed, propane and natural gas. The one that's going here,
okay,
and the other two units are diesel.
okay. I'm reading a whole bunch of stuff here and maybe I'm just reading it all wrong.
And we're, the one here, we're replacing where the existing one is here now,
Okay,
on the same.
so
tank.
propane or natural gas here
It's both, yeah, it has an automatic switching.
and then diesel at the other places.
Yes,
I got you.
yes.
somewhere I read in here gasoline, that's why I asked that, and then I saw later on, it said diesel. And so I just got my notes messed up here maybe a little bit. Because I was gonna ask how much it was more to go to diesel over gasoline is what I was gonna ask. But you've already included diesel, so we're good. So everything's good with me.
Yeah, normally diesel is a little more affordable per gallon than,
Well, gasoline.
yeah,
is,
normally. Yeah,
But
normally that's a
I
good,
would
Is there
think
any-
the diesels would last longer though.
yeah.
Is there any other discussion? If not,
Here's why I was-
I'll entertain a motion to approve the bid of $360,435 from Brita Electric for the generators.
So moved.
Second. Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilman Collier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
No.
Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Benz,
Yes.
Councilman Cook,
No,
Councilman Tenen.
Yes.
Motion passes. Go ahead and get the generators. Tonight we have Bill 4690 on the agenda. Would the clerk please read Bill 4690 for the first time?
Bill number 4690, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, authorizing the issuance of special tax bills under sections 110.1 and 111 of the International Property Maintenance Code adopted by the City of Festus, Missouri, certifying said special tax bills to the Recorder of Deeds of the County of Jefferson as a lien against property and establishing an effective date.
Bill 4690 is now open for discussion. Can I have a staff report?
Yes, sir. I believe normally Mark would probably help out with this one, but from my reading of the ordinance, this looks to be the tax levy that we will place upon the property at 411 South Mill for the demolition of that derelict home. That's my reading of it, at least.
Okay. That's the way.
That's correct.
We've heard the staff report. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, Matt, real quick. So basically, that's just placing a lien against the people, since we paid for the demolition.
Mhm.
And they have a certain time period, or will the lien just follow the property?
Oh, but it'll follow the property till it's paid.
8% interest is added on to Jim.
Oh, wow.
It's the annual, Stephanie, the interest. But it is 8%.
8%.
Right, Brian?
Right, it's also for our ordinance, it's also deemed a personal debt against the property owner as well, so it can be, in theory, the city can also sue the owner.
Oh.
Have we had contact with the owners?
Not to my knowledge. I don't, that's probably a Mark question. Unfortunately, he's unable to attend tonight, but I can inquire and let the council know.
Well, they're notified, Stacy. I mean, the property's posted. And then, I mean, the city has, Brian can explain the process.
There is sort of an intricate procedure in the city's code for property to be designated as dangerous for the building commissioner to conduct a hearing to notify the occupants if there are any, the owner, any other mortgagees or other entities with interest in the property. The hearing for to decide whether to repair it, vacate it, or to demolish it. And since this one was in pretty bad shape, the city was made to demolish it. Time period is given for the property owner to do it themselves, and when they don't, the city does it at its cost and can pass its cost on as a tax bill, and that's what we're doing for this ordinance today.
Is there any other discussion? Is there any council member that wish this bill to be carried over to the next meeting?
So moved. Yes. Oh, no, I'm sorry. No. Never mind, Sam. I'm reading it again.
Okay,
Never mind.
now. Could I have a motion to suspend the rules and read the bill for the second time in title only?
I'm in. Yes.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. Madam Clerk, would you please read Bill 4690 for the second time?
Bill number 4690, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, authorizing the issuance of special tax bills under sections 110.1 and 111 of the International Property Maintenance Code adopted by the City of Festus, Missouri, certifying said special tax bills to the Recorder of Deeds of the County of Jefferson as a lien against said property and establishing an effective date. Councilman Tenon. Councilman Cook.
Yes.
Councilman Benz.
Yes.
Councilman Dennis.
Yes.
Councilman Boyer.
Yes.
Councilman Collier.
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton.
Yes.
Councilman Weiner.
Yes.
Bill 4690 has passed. We also have on the agenda tonight, Bill 4691. Would the clerk please read this bill for the first time?
Bill number 4691, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, amending section 205.050 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Festus regarding the types of animals allowed in the city, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, and establishing an effective date.
Bill 4691 is now open for discussion. Could I have the staff report, please?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. Members of the city council, you may recall some weeks ago, we had a young woman resident come before us and request that we expand or relax, however you'd like to think of it, our chicken ordinance so that she and her home could participate. And the nexus of that request is what you have in front of you this evening. So this new ordinance removes the square foot or the acreage requirement in the chicken ordinance. It also adds a lot of other protections, making certain that there aren't going to be any roosters or that you have to have certain setbacks in order to have the coop. The coop is a requirement. The size of the coop is dictated by the number of hens that you have. And there are a number of other rules outlined in this. It is quite lengthy, but it was an ordinance that we gleaned from another local community who had great success with it. Greg and I reached out to our comrades in arms and all over the St. Louis region and asked what others had experience with chicken ordinances when they removed their lot requirements, and shoot, the city attorney maybe even be able to comment. The city of St. Louis and St. Louis County, where homes are sometimes more dense, they reported very low incidence of issue between neighbors. And so we were confident that we will probably have a similar experience here. Having worked in St. Louis County for a number of years, I can say that roosters were the extent of the complaints we got. And once we sent the letters out asking them to dispatch their roosters, the complaint stopped. So that's probably the worst that we'll suffer.
Are there any questions or discussion?
Now, this is, they do have to get permits
Yes,
each
sir.
year, or is it
I think it's 2
every
years.
2 years?
Yeah.
Every 2 years.
So if there's problems with somebody, then we can not issue their permit
Absolutely.
from then on, since they had complaints.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Is there any other discussion?
It looked to me like there was a lot of safeguards that were built in there as far as size, odor, noise,
Yeah.
anything. It looks like it was taken in consideration. So it looks like if there is going to be a problem, it looks like it would be something that we could react to.
That's a good point. And I didn't mention, but I think it's worth noting that no other fowl is permitted by adopting this ordinance. So no ducks or any other laying birds. No. So it is solely for chickens. No emails either.
Are there any other questions or discussions? Since there is no further discussion, are there any councilmen that, or council persons that would wish this bill to be carried over to the next meeting? I'm trying, Stephanie, or rather, Stacy, I'm trying. Do I have a motion to suspend the rules and read Bill 4691 for the second time?
So moved.
Motion's been made and seconded. Madam Clerk, would you please read Bill 4691 for the second time in title only?
Bill number 4691, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, amending section 205.050 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Festus regarding the types of animals allowed in the city, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, and establishing an effective date. Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilman Collier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Benz,
Yes.
Councilman Tenen, Councilman Cook.
Yes.
Bill 4691 has passed. New business.
You have a liquor license request from LaChance Vineyards. They're going to serve the alcohol at the Twin City Days concert, and Chief Lewis gave his okay for this. Is that right, Doug? Yep.
I have a question. Has Twin City Days Committee approved this request?
I don't know that.
Well,
How much in advance would they have to have this in order to?
Well,
Get
Twin
the
City
state
Days is, what's the date, Barb? Of September. So they got it
Get a picnic license from the state?
in the county. I believe they, I have to look back, but I believe they have served the alcohol before at Twin City Days events.
Could we give conditional approval based upon all guidelines met, including the committee approving it? Would that
I
offer?
can call them tomorrow if you.
yeah.
You can always hold your signature until that's met, until it's verified.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to accept the approval of liquor license upon full conditional permit allowance.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the license upon a full, a conditional upon a full signature from
Twin City Days.
Twin City Days Committee.
Yes, sir.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. Will you take care of that,
Yes.
Gary? Any old business? I don't think we do. We have no old business. Councilman Boyer.
Sir, I have nothing.
Thank you, Councilman Weiner.
Nothing, sir.
Thank you, Councilman Cook.
Yes, sir. There's a couple of things. A huge shout out to the Parks Department and Josh. Missouri Department of Natural Resources sent me an email Sunday night, Josh. Yeah, about a stream team cleanup at Joachim Park in part of the city limits of Festus. They were doing Wednesday, not much of a heads up. So Josh and his crew did an excellent job. What we pull out of there, Josh, about 100 tires, is that correct?
One to unload trash.
On very short notice. Yeah, in the heat. So huge thank you to Josh and the Parks Department. Please pass that along. Matt, my no vote on the generators was, we're spending a lot of money. Surge protection was a concern of mine. That's why. That's the only reason. Other than that, I supported it. And if we're still discussing budget, Stephanie, and we have some ARPA funds, it sounds like, I'd like to see us, if the council agrees at some point, or even have discussion on it, maybe allocating funds to continue to demo derelict properties and continue this process throughout, instead of just making it a one-time hit here and there. Maybe put a list together and start doing an annual maintenance or an annual derelict property report and do 2 or 3 a year if we can. Just a thought. Thank you, sir.
That's a good idea.
That's up to the mayor.
Go ahead, of course, Stephanie.
So currently in the health budget, we have put a little bit extra for a couple more of the properties, but then in Greg's information to you, we will be meeting on the August 22nd after the regular meeting. So if there's things that you want to bring to spend the ARPA money or anything like that, just bring that to the meeting on the 22nd.
So our light work session, more or
Yeah.
less. Okay. I'll bring that idea. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Councilman Dennis.
Matt, we're making good progress, back behind the maintenance shed with our, spot for our, street cleaner to put the debris in that, enclosed area. I cut through there today on my way home from the gym and it looks like it's coming along. It's gonna be really nice. So, thank the men for that and, continue to keep them all cool and safe out there, Matt.
Yes, sir. We'll
So
do
that's all I
it.
have, sir.
All righty, thank you. Councilman Collier,
No report at this time, sir.
Councilwoman Templeton.
Just a thank you to Matt. I had a call late Friday evening about the streetlights on Sunshine being out. And he happened to be in the area, so it was nice to get that taken care of, and the resident was very much appreciated that it had been addressed on the weekend.
You're very welcome.
Councilman Vins.
Thanks for getting those weeds cut.
You're welcome.
Looks a lot better.
Yes,
I'll be glad when we finally get our own to keep up on it.
Yeah.
Because you can tell there's a lot more needs to be done, but at least that did take a good chunk of it out of there. So
It did.
thank you.
You're very
That's
welcome.
it, sir.
Thank you. Councilman Tennant.
I have nothing, sir.
Thank you. Once again, the crews have been working and despite the heat, thank you, Matt, for making sure that the guys get enough water and they get breaks so that they can continue to work during the day whenever it's so hot.
Absolutely.
And I don't have anything else.
Mr. Mayor, if I might, I do want to mention one quick thing, if I'm not out of order.
Go ahead.
Spire has again awarded my staff the Silver Shovel Award. That means we didn't break any gas lines this last year, which is fantastic. Not only is that a safety thing, it's a pride thing. And so, of course, special thanks to all my staff that are out there working on excavators, but also Jack Bridges and Pat Kinder for out there helping to locate for us in those emergencies. It's fantastic work they do. So I wanted to mention them. They'll be having breakfast on Spire's dime later this week. So we'll have a contingency of 5 guys go out there and have breakfast on the gas company. So I want to mention that to you guys. We've got some good operators and it shows.
Great, great. Is there anything else? I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. This meeting is adjourned.
See you guys.
Let me turn it off real quick. I'll be just-
You have a moment?